Do you ever find yourself thinking twice before heading out? Wondering if it's really worth the hustle and bustle, or if a quiet evening at home might be the safer bet? It's a thought many of us have as we get a little older, isn't it? The truth is, as we navigate life between 65 and 80, the world around us can sometimes present unexpected challenges to our health and well-being. We often worry about the big things, but sometimes it's the places we frequent, or the environments we find ourselves in regularly, that quietly pose the most significant risks. Many of us, without even realizing it, put ourselves in situations that could easily lead to a nasty fall, an unwelcome infection, or simply make an existing health concern a lot worse. It's a painful reality that these risks, often hidden in plain sight, can chip away at our independence and the joy we find in daily life. But here's the secret: with a little awareness and a few simple adjustments, we can significantly reduce these dangers and continue to live life to the fullest. In this video, we're going to uncover 6 types of places or situations that, between the ages of 65 and 80, can pose real threats to your health. And more importantly, how to navigate them or avoid them altogether. Make sure you stay with me until the very end, because I'll share something that might just surprise you about living your best life. Let's dive right in with the first type of environment that can be surprisingly risky, especially during certain times of the year. Picture this: it's flu season, maybe even winter, and you need to pop to the supermarket. It's usually a quick trip, right? But suddenly, you find yourself in aisles packed shoulder to shoulder with people, coughing, sneezing, and touching everything. Or maybe it's the doctor's waiting room, full of sniffles and sneezes, or even the bus at rush hour. These are what I call overly crowded. High-traffic public spaces, particularly during peak illness seasons. It's not about being a recluse, but understanding the sheer volume of germs present in such environments when people are in close proximity, especially indoors with less air circulation. Viruses and bacteria have a field day. For us, a simple cold or flu isn't just a nuisance. It can escalate into something far more serious, like bronchitis or pneumonia, potentially leading to hospitalization, a prolonged recovery, and a significant setback to our overall health and independence. The immune system, while still remarkable, often isn't as quick to rebound as it once was. So, what can we do? It's often about timing. If you can, try to visit places like the supermarket, the bank, or the post office during off-peak hours. Think early mornings or midweek afternoons when the crowds have thinned out. If you absolutely have to be in a busy spot, good old-fashioned hand hygiene is your best friend. Carry a small bottle of hand sanitizer with you and use it frequently, especially after touching shared surfaces like shopping trolleys or door handles. Consciously try to avoid touching your face, your eyes, nose, and mouth, as this is how many germs enter our system. And, dare I say it, consider wearing a mask in very crowded indoor settings, especially if you know you'll be there for a while or if you feel particularly vulnerable. Sometimes, the best visit is no visit at all. Many services now offer online alternatives: grocery delivery, online banking, or virtual doctor's appointments. Embracing these can significantly reduce your exposure without sacrificing your needs. And, of course, keeping your immune system strong through a balanced diet, adequate sleep, and regular, moderate exercise is your ultimate defense. Now, that brings us seamlessly to the second type of dangerous place, one that's often right under our noses, or more accurately, under our feet, areas with poor lighting or uneven surfaces. Think about it: that familiar path you walk every day. But what if it's getting dark and the streetlights aren't working, or the slightly cracked pavement outside your favorite shop? Perhaps it's even within your own home. A dimly lit stairwell, a rug that tends to slip, or a cluster of wires tucked away that you might trip over. Falls are not just an inconvenience. They are a leading cause of serious injury for older adults. A simple slip can result in a fractured hip, wrist, or even a head injury, leading to a long and painful recovery. And sometimes, a significant loss of confidence and mobility. I've known people who became almost housebound after a bad fall. Not because they couldn't walk, but because the fear of falling again was so overwhelming. So, How can we make our world a safer place to walk? Start with your home. Ensure every area, especially stairways, hallways, and bathrooms, is well lit. Consider nightlights in bedrooms and bathrooms. Clear pathways of clutter. Secure loose rugs with non-slip mats or remove them entirely. And tape down any electrical cords when you're out and about. Choose sturdy, comfortable shoes with good grip. High heels or overly slippery soles are simply not worth the risk. Be acutely aware of your surroundings. Look for uneven paving stones, cracks in the sidewalk, or obstacles. If you use a cane or walker, make sure it's properly fitted and use it consistently, especially in unfamiliar areas or when your balance feels off. Regular eye exams are crucial, as poor vision can dramatically increase your fall risk. And finally, activities that improve balance and strength, like gentle yoga, tai chi, or even just walking regularly, can build your physical resilience and reduce your chances of a fall. It's about being proactive, not reactive, and valuing your stability as much as your mobility. Now that we've talked about navigating public spaces and keeping our footing, let's turn our attention to something equally important, but often overlooked. Which brings us to the third type of place that can quietly undermine your health. We've just discussed how crucial it is to stay steady on your feet and avoid germ hotspots. And that leads us to a third, equally vital area of concern: environments with extreme temperatures, especially those without proper climate control. This isn't just about visiting the desert in July or the Arctic in January. It's often about our everyday living spaces. Think about a scorching summer day when your air conditioning isn't quite keeping up, or a bitter winter night when the heating seems inadequate. Or perhaps it's spending too long outside in the unexpected glare of the sun or caught in a sudden cold snap. Our bodies, as we age, don't regulate temperature as efficiently as they once did. This means we are more susceptible to heat-related illnesses like heat stroke and dehydration in summer, and hypothermia, or increased strain on our hearts in winter. These conditions can be incredibly dangerous and can exacerbate existing chronic health conditions like heart disease, diabetes, or respiratory problems. I remember a particularly hot summer where an elderly neighbor suffered from heat exhaustion because she was afraid to turn on her air conditioning due to the cost. And she didn't realize how quickly her body was becoming overwhelmed. It was a stark reminder of how critical it is to manage our immediate surroundings. So, how do we protect ourselves? In summer, hydration is key. Drink plenty of water throughout the day. Even if you don't feel thirsty, wear loose-fitting, light-colored clothing, use fans or air conditioning. And if your home isn't cooling down, don't hesitate to seek refuge in public places that are air-conditioned, like libraries, shopping centers, or community centers. In winter, layering your clothing is effective, as trapped air between layers provides insulation. Keep your home heated to a comfortable and safe temperature, typically around 18 to 21 degrees Celsius, 64-70 degrees Fahrenheit. Before going outside, check the weather forecast and dress appropriately. Hats, gloves, and warm, waterproof footwear are essential, and it's always a good idea to check on neighbors, especially those living alone. During extreme weather, listening to your body's signals is paramount. If you feel too hot or too cold, take immediate steps to adjust your environment. Now, moving from the physical comfort of our environment to something a bit more subtle, yet profoundly impactful, we come to the fourth dangerous place: isolated, unstimulating environments, or what I like to call the cocoon of inactivity. This isn't a physical location you visit, but rather a state of being, a lifestyle, a trap that many of us can unknowingly fall into. It's the tendency to spend too much time alone, not engaging in hobbies, social activities, or regular physical movement. Perhaps it starts innocently. A quiet day at home turns into a quiet week, and before you know it, you've settled into a routine of limited interaction and minimal physical exertion. The risks here are multifaceted and insidious. Physically, prolonged inactivity leads to muscle loss, reduced flexibility, and weakened bones. making daily tasks harder and increasing the risk of those falls we just talked about. Mentally, this cocoon can lead to cognitive decline, as our brains thrive on new challenges and social interaction. Emotionally, it can foster feelings of loneliness, depression, and anxiety, diminishing our overall joy and sense of purpose. I've seen vibrant individuals slowly withdraw, losing their spark because they lost touch with their community and passions. But the beautiful thing is, breaking free from this cocoon can be incredibly uplifting. It starts with small steps. Make a conscious effort to connect socially, even if it's just a phone call to a friend or family member, or a video chat. Consider joining a local club or group, perhaps a book club, a walking group, a card game session, or a volunteer organization. Finding a purpose outside your immediate home can be incredibly revitalizing. Mentally, challenge yourself. Learn a new skill, whether it's a language, an instrument, or a craft. Engage in puzzles. Read widely. Or explore online courses. And physically, ensure you're moving daily. Even short walks around the block, gardening, or gentle exercises at home can make a world of difference. The key is to seek out environments that foster connection, learning, and movement. Your mind and body thrive on engagement. So make an effort to intentionally step out of the cocoon and into the world, even if it's just your local park or community center. This brings us to the fifth type of environment that can be surprisingly dangerous: areas with poor air quality or significant chemical exposure. We often think of big industrial zones or major cities, but this can also be closer to home than you think. Have you ever walked into a freshly painted room and felt a bit dizzy, or rummaged through an old, dusty attic and started coughing? Maybe you live near a busy road and notice a persistent haze. These are all examples of environments where the air we breathe can be compromised. For older adults, who may have more sensitive respiratory systems or underlying conditions like asthma, COPD, or allergies, exposure to pollutants can trigger severe reactions. It can mean difficulty breathing, persistent coughing, headaches, or even worsening chronic illnesses. Think about homes with undetected mold, which can release spores that cause respiratory irritation and allergic reactions, or using strong cleaning products in an unventilated bathroom. I once knew someone who developed severe lung issues after years of living in a house with a hidden mold problem. It wasn't a dramatic accident, but a slow, continuous degradation of health. So, what's the proactive approach here? Ventilation is your best friend indoors. When cleaning, painting, or even just cooking, open windows and use fans to ensure good air circulation. When using cleaning products, opt for milder, natural alternatives where possible, and always follow safety instructions, ensuring the area is well ventilated. If you suspect mold, address it immediately and professionally. Outdoors, if you live in an area prone to air pollution, or on days when air quality alerts are issued, try to limit your time outside, especially during peak traffic hours. Consider an indoor air purifier for your home, particularly in bedrooms. If you enjoy gardening or working in dusty areas like the garage, consider wearing a simple face mask to reduce inhalation of dust, pollen, or spores. Being mindful of the air you breathe is just as important as being mindful of the food you eat or the water you drink. We've covered 5 significant areas where vigilance can make a world of difference for your health. Now, let's talk about the 6th, and perhaps one of the most insidious, dangerous places. We've explored everything from crowded public spaces to the very air we breathe. Now, let's turn our attention to the 6th type of dangerous place. And this one isn't about physical hazards or airborne particles, but about the subtle yet profound impact of environments that encourage unhealthy overconsumption. This isn't just about an all-you-can-eat buffet, though those certainly fit the bill. It's about any setting where portion control goes out the window, where tempting, often highly processed foods are constantly available, and where the social pressure might lead you to eat or drink more than is good for you. Think of certain social gatherings where rich, sugary foods and alcoholic beverages flow freely. Or perhaps it's even your own kitchen if it's constantly stocked with snacks that you find hard to resist out of boredom or habit. The risks here are clear weight gain, which puts extra strain on joints and organs, blood sugar spikes that can be particularly dangerous for those managing diabetes, increased risk of heart disease, and common issues like poor digestion and inflammation. And let's not forget the impact of excessive alcohol consumption, which can interfere with medications, impair balance, and affect cognitive function. I've heard countless stories of people who, after a lively gathering, felt unwell for days, not from a virus, but from overindulgence. It's not about avoiding social interaction or enjoying a treat now and then, but about being mindful of environments that push us towards unhealthy habits. So, what can we do? Mindful eating is a powerful tool. When you're in an environment with an abundance of food, slow down, savor each bite, really taste what you're eating, and pay attention to your body's signals of fullness. It takes about 20 minutes for your brain to register that your stomach is full, so eating slowly gives your body a chance to catch up. Portion control is another game changer. Use smaller plates, and when serving yourself at a buffet or potluck, opt for smaller servings initially, and only go back for more if you're genuinely still hungry, rather than simply because the food is there. A great strategy before attending a social event where you know there will be tempting, unhealthy options is to eat a healthy snack beforehand. This way, you arrive feeling less ravenous and are better equipped to make conscious choices if you're hosting, or even just attending. Consider bringing a healthy dish to share, like a colorful salad or a veggie platter. Hydration is also key. Sometimes we confuse thirst for hunger. So try drinking a glass of water before reaching for that extra snack. And be aware of alcohol consumption. It's often high in calories, can dehydrate you, and can interact negatively with many common medications. If you choose to drink, do so in moderation and ensure you're also drinking plenty of water. It's about creating boundaries and making conscious decisions, transforming these potentially dangerous eating environments into opportunities for mindful enjoyment. So, we've walked through 6 important areas where our vigilance can truly make a difference in our health and happiness as we age. We've talked about being smart in crowded places and avoiding those germ hotspots, about watching our step and making sure our environments are safe and well lit to prevent falls. We've explored the importance of staying comfortable in any weather, keeping our bodies at just the right temperature to avoid extremes. We also discussed the vital need to keep our minds and bodies active, escaping the cocoon of inactivity that can dim our spark and diminish our capabilities. And we learned about the significance of breathing clean air, protecting our lungs from hidden pollutants. Finally, we delved into how to navigate environments that might subtly encourage us to overindulge, making wiser food and drink choices for our long-term well-being. Remember, none of this is about stopping living, or isolating yourself, or missing out on the joys of life. Quite the opposite. It's about living smarter, living safer, and living with even more joy and independence. These aren't grand, overwhelming changes. They are small, mindful adjustments, conscious decisions that can ripple out into profound improvements in your daily life. You have so much life to live, so much to enjoy, so many experiences still to embrace. By being aware of these potential pitfalls and taking simple, proactive steps, you are actively choosing a path of greater health, more energy, and lasting vitality. Your golden years truly can be your most vibrant ones. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these dangerous places, or if there are other situations you've learned to navigate with age. Share your experiences and your wisdom in the comments below. Your insights could help someone else tremendously. If you found this conversation helpful, if it gave you something to think about, please give this video a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. We're building a wonderful community here, sharing practical advice and encouraging each other, and I'd absolutely love for you to be a part of it. Until next time, keep embracing life with open arms, stay safe, stay curious, and live your very best life at every age.